imagine a world where the Boy Sprouts, yeah, the kids selling cookies, are secretly pulling the strings of the CIA.
Yeah.
Or even better, picture a reality where congressional wives are funding the cycle gangs to destabilize a neighborhood.
It sounds crazy.
It sounds like a total fever dream. But we aren't talking about some dark web conspiracy theory. We're talking about, well, maybe one of the most curious simulations of power ever printed on cardboard. Today, we are diving into Illuminati, the game of conspiracy.
It is such a classic. And, calling it just a card game, it really feels like a disservice.
It does.
It's more like a satire that kind of accidentally became a textbook on network theory.
That is exactly the vibe I got going through the sources. We've got the rule book, the strategy guides, and of course the cards themselves. And my first takeaway, this game is just hilarious. But the second one is that it's actually kind of terrifying.
Terrifying is the right word.
Yeah.
Because once you strip away the jokes about, orbital mind control lasers, you realize the game is modeling something very real.
Which?
The fragility of influence. It treats power not as this solid block, but as a web. And webs can be cut.
So let's unpack this, because the box art is pure 90s cringe. You've got the pyramids, the eyes, the puppet strings. It looks like it belongs in a basement next to a Dungeons & Dragons manual.
Chuckles, it does.
But the mission today is to figure out how this game actually works as a simulation. I mean, how do you gamify paranoia?
Well, it starts with the table itself. Most board games, they have a board, right?
A map of the world or a path you follow.
Exactly. Illuminati has nothing. You are playing on a completely blank surface, a table, the floor, whatever.
Which feels chaotic right away.
Right. And into that void, you place your Illuminati card. That's you. That's the capstone of your pyramid. You're the puppet master.
And everything throws from there.
Everything from that one single point.
And the goal is simple, world domination. But you don't do it yourself. You have to recruit groups.
Puppets, actually, is the term the rules use.
Which is very telling. So, mechanically, what does this look like? Because I was looking at the diagrams in the rule book, and it reminded me of those detective movies with the red string connecting photos on a wall.
That is the perfect analogy. So imagine you're the Bavarian Illuminati. You're in the center. You want to control, let's say the FBI.
Okay.
You make an attack, you succeed, and now you place the FBI card next to yours. But here's the key part. Every card has these arrows printed on the edges.
Ah, the arrows. This is like the plumbing of the conspiracy.
Exactly. Your Illuminati card has an arrow pointing out. The FBI card has one pointing in. You have to physically line them up.
Got it. So now the FBI is attached.
It's attached to you. But the FBI card also has another arrow pointing out on its other side.
So the FBI can then control... Wait, so they can then control someone else?
Precisely. Maybe the FBI takes control of the IRS.
Oh, wow.
And the IRS takes control of the phone company. You end up building these sprawling, sort of organic tentacles of power. It's not a neat pyramid. It's a root system.
And that's where the network theory comes in then. Because if I'm looking at this structure, it seems really precarious.
It is incredibly fragile.
Yeah.
This is the brilliance of the design. Let's say I'm an opponent and I want to hurt you. I don't have to attack your main Illuminati card. That's usually too hard. Instead, I attack the FBI.
The middle management.
And if I manage to steal the FBI from you, or even destroy it, what happens to the IRS and the phone company that were attached to it?
They just fall off.
They fall right back into the uncontrolled pile in the middle of the table. You lose that entire branch. It's a cascading failure.
Wow.
The game teaches you that if you build a power structure that's too long and thin, cutting one link can just destroy half your empire.
That's such a good corporate metaphor. The VP quits and the whole department just falls apart.
It creates so much anxiety at the table. You're constantly trying to protect your little nodes.
Speaking of nodes, we have to talk about the groups themselves. The variety is just, it's wild. We mentioned the FBI, but looking at the deck, we've got Trekkies, the Men in Black, convenience stores.
And the Boy Sprouts. The Boy Sprouts are a fan favorite.
It's just so absurd. But the game treats them all seriously, as assets. A convenience store is just as much a piece of the puzzle as the Pentagon.
Well, think about it. If you want to distribute propaganda, or, well, the card implies something more nefarious about what's in the slushies.
Right.
Controlling every corner store in America is actually a huge strategic advantage.
Control the snacks, control the world. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually steal these groups, we have to talk about who you're playing as.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you don't just play as generic bad guy. There are specific secret societies, and they all feel totally different.
Totally different. The factions are asymmetrical. They all break the rules in their own unique ways.
Let's run through the big ones. We have to start with the classic, the Bavarian Illuminati.
The OG conspiracy. In the lore, they're the ones who started it all. In the game, they're basically the brute force faction.
They're the heavy hitters.
They really are. They have a high power stat 10 out of 10. Their goal is just raw power. They win if they control groups with a total power of 35.
So they don't care what they control.
Nope, as long as it's strong. And their special ability is privilege. They can make certain attacks for cheaper than anyone else.
It's that old money advantage. We know the judge, so we get a discount on the lawsuit.
Exactly. Then you have the gnomes of Zurich.
I love this name. These are the Swiss bankers, obviously.
The ultimate capitalists.
Mm-hmm.
Their goal isn't political power. It's just hoarding 150 megabucks.
That's a lot of money.
And their special ability is financial liquidity. See, usually moving money between your groups is a huge hassle. You can only move it one step per turn.
Like a wire transfer clearing period or something.
Right. But the gnomes, they can move any amount of money to any of their groups instantly at the end of their turn. It simulates the digital banking system.
So while everyone else is struggling to get funds from their fast food chains up to their lawyers...
The gnomes just teleport the cash. It's incredibly powerful.
Okay, but then you have the faction that just flips the whole table over. The servants of Cthulhu.
The nihilists. This is where the satire gets pretty dark. Every other player is trying to build a structure. The servants of Cthulhu just want to flatten the whole table.
So they win by destroying things.
They win if they destroy 8 other groups.
See, while I'm trying to carefully build my little web of government agencies, the Cthulhu player is just running around with a sledgehammer?
Basically. They get a huge bonus to destroy roles. It just changes the whole psychology of the table. If Cthulhu is in the game, you're not playing to win anymore. You're playing to survive.
Then there's the Discordian Society, the agents of chaos.
Yeah, based on the Principia Discordia, their goal is to control 5 weird groups. And they have this amazing immunity. Government and straight groups just cannot attack them.
I love that. The IRS tries to audit them, and the Discordians just confuse them with nonsensical paperwork until they give up and leave.
It's weaponized absurdity. And then, my personal favorite for pure sneakiness, the UFOs.
The aliens.
But the twist is, nobody knows what they want. Their goal card is the goal of the UFOs, but the text says they pick another goal from the unused pile at the start of the game and keep it face down.
No way. So they could be trying to hoard money like the gnomes or destroy the world like Cthulhu, and you won't know until they flip the card and say, I win.
It's pure paranoia. It forces you to watch their behavior.
Yeah.
Why are they gathering money? Are they gnomes, or are they just bluffing?
That is brilliant. Okay, and finally we have the Bermuda Triangle.
The shapeshifters. They can reorganize their entire structure at the end of every turn.
Whoa.
Remember how we said the structure is fragile? If I cut off a branch, you lose it? The Bermuda Triangle can just move that branch to safety instantly. They're incredibly slippery.
Okay, so we have our secret society, we have our table. Now I want to start grabbing groups. I want the Pentagon. But it's not as simple as just saying, I take it. This is where the game gets really crunchy, right? With the alignments.
This is, in my opinion, the smartest social commentary in the entire game.
Yeah.
Every group has these tags, alignments, and they come in opposing pairs.
Like liberal and conservative.
Right. Government versus communist.
Yeah.
Peaceful versus violent. Straight versus weird.
And these actually matter for the dice roll?
Hugely.
Yeah.
Let's play out a scenario. Let's say you are controlling the Boy Sprouts.
Okay, I'm the scouts. I'm holding the cookies.
The Boy Sprouts card is aligned as straight and peaceful. Now, let's say you want the Scouts to take over the CIA.
A natural evolution of the organization, sure.
The CIA is aligned as government and violent. Now, straight and government are fine together, no problem. But peaceful and violent, those are opposites.
So the scouts don't want to hurt people, but the CIA absolutely does.
Exactly. And because of that opposing alignment, you suffer a -4 penalty to your dice roll.
Wow, -4.
In a game using 2 six-sided dice, a -4 is statistically devastating. It is nearly impossible to succeed.
So the game is mathematically enforcing ideological echo chambers. It's hard for a peaceful group to control a violent one. It's hard for a liberal group to control a conservative one.
Unless you have money.
Ah, the great equalizer.
Money or megabucks overcomes ideology. You can spend cash to boost your role. If you pour enough millions into the Boy Scouts, they can eventually afford the propaganda or the bribes to take over the CIA.
This is basically simulating super PACs. If you have enough funding, the political mismatch doesn't matter.
It is exactly that. And this leads to the bidding war. Because while you're spending money to attack, the current owner of the CIA, or even just an innocent bystander, can spend money to defend.
Wait, a bystander can get involved?
This is the interference rule, and it's what ruins friendships.
Okay, walk me through this. It's my turn. I'm attacking the Pentagon. You aren't involved at all. You can stop me.
Yes. I can just say, you know what? I don't want you to have the Pentagon. That's too much power. So I throw 5 megabucks into the pot to aid the defense.
Even though it's not your group?
Even though it's not my group, it represents foreign aid or shadowy lobbying or just plain chaos. It creates this crabs in a bucket mentality.
Yeah.
As soon as someone looks like they're winning, the entire table pools their money to stop them.
That sounds incredibly frustrating.
It is. And it's also, kind of accurate. It prevents any one superpower from rising too quickly because the rest of the world naturally balances against them.
We talked about taking control, but that's not the only way to attack, is it? You can also neutralize.
Right. Control is hard because you're trying to integrate a group into your org chart. Neutralize is much easier. You get a +6 bonus.
Okay.
But you don't keep the group. You just knock it out of your opponent's structure and back to the middle of the table.
It's the, if I can't have it, nobody can move.
It's a total spoiler tactic. If you're about to win with the gun lobby, I might not be able to steal it from you, but I can definitely knock it loose and ruin your turn.
And then there's the final option, destroy.
The nuclear option.
Yeah.
You remove the card from the game permanently. It goes to the dead pile.
Which is funny because some cards have bonuses for this, right? Like anti-nuclear activists are really good at destroying nuclear power companies.
Which makes perfect thematic sense.
Yeah.
But my favorite interaction is the IRS.
Oh, no.
The IRS has a special ability. They can tax the other players, but they're also aligned as criminal.
Wait, the IRS alignment is criminal?
Yes. In this game's universe, the tax man is officially a crook.
That's amazing.
But this brings up the whole strategy of dirty tricks. The rulebook itself encourages being, let's say, flexible with the truth.
I read that section on deals. It's fascinatingly loose. It basically says you can promise anything, but
only immediate trades are binding.
So if I say, hey, give me 5 megabucks now, and I promise not to attack you next turn.
I give you the money, you take it, and then on your next turn, you attack me. And that is completely legal according to the rules.
That is just cold.
It weaponizes trust. If you burn someone, they will never trade with you again. But if it wins you the game, maybe it's worth it. It forces you to act like a sociopathic politician.
Or a diplomat. Same thing, I guess.
And then there are the cheat cards.
They're literally called cheats.
Well, cards that let you break the rules. Like bribery. It lets you just steal an uncontrolled group automatically. No roll needed. You just buy them.
And whispering campaign.
Ugh, that one is nasty. It lets you destroy any group with a power of 0 without rolling.
Okay.
Now, power 0 groups are usually these useless little things like the Flat Earthers or Flower Power. But they could be useful for linking your structure together. A whispering campaign just deletes them.
We heard the Flat Earthers are actually globes in disguise. Boom, they're gone.
And the ultimate defensive card has to be Secrets Man was not meant to know.
That sounds very ominous.
It just cancels any card that was just played. It's the undo button.
Oh, wow.
If someone plays a massive attack or a game-winning privilege, you just slap that down and say, nope, never happened.
I want to pivot back to the flavor because we've been deep in the mechanics, but the writing on these cards is just, it's perfect. The combinations you can build are what make the game so memorable.
The synergy bonuses are where the satire really shines.
I saw one for the tabloids.
Right. The tabloids give you a +3 bonus to control convenience stores.
Because that's the distribution network. You buy your alien baby news right next to your Slurpee.
And video games also gives you a bonus to control convenience stores. The game knew exactly who its demographic was in 1995.
And then there's the orbital mind control lasers.
A very high power card. Super rare. But if you control the evil geniuses for a better tomorrow, you get a massive bonus to control the lasers.
Of course.
Because obviously they're the ones who built them.
It allows you to tell these little stories. The evil geniuses built the lasers to control the Boy Scouts, who are now secretly running the CIA.
And the best part is, looking at the news today, that sentence barely sounds crazy anymore.
That's the scary part. The game references the Illuminatus
Yeah.
trilogy and the Principia Discordia, right, in the rule book.
Yeah, the bibliography is actually pretty extensive. Steve Jackson didn't just make this stuff up. He pulled from, like, 50 years of conspiracy literature. The MTV card MTV destroys the power of any group it attacks because it rots their brains.
Right.
That's straight out of 90s cultural criticism.
So as we look at this whole package, the network theory, the economic simulation, the betrayal, what's the big takeaway? I mean, why is this game still so relevant 30 years later?
I think it's because it deconstructs the whole great man theory of history. We like to think history is driven by presidents and kings and individuals. Illuminati says, no, history is driven by systems.
It's the network.
Exactly. It shows that power isn't about one person giving orders. It's about holding the keys to the institutions that hold the keys to the money. It teaches you to look at the world and ask, okay, who funds this? Who controls the board of directors? What is the alignment?
It turns you into a conspiracy theorist, but like a rational one. You stop looking for lizard people and start looking for holding companies.
Which is arguably a lot more useful.
Before we wrap up, I have to ask about one specific detail I found in the rulebook. It's in the copyright notice, of all places, and on a few of the cards, the word FNORD.
Ah, yes. FNORD. F-N-O-R-D.
It's treated like this running gag, but it has a specific meaning in the source material, doesn't it?
It comes from the Illuminatus trilogy.
Yeah.
And the idea is that FNORD is a word that the population has been conditioned from birth to ignore. You literally cannot see it consciously.
Okay.
But when you encounter it in a newspaper or on TV, it triggers this subconscious feeling of uneasiness or fear.
So they sprinkle it in headlines to make people anxious and obedient without them even knowing why?
Exactly. If you see a headline that says taxes rise, FNORD, you just feel vaguely panicked and you don't question the tax hike. It symbolizes the invisible manipulation of language.
Which connects right back to the whole game. We are playing as the manipulators. We're the ones putting the thorns in the headlines.
And a scary thought to leave on is, in real life, we aren't the players, we're the cards.
We're just in the uncontrolled pile, waiting to be picked up by the gnomes of Zurich.
Or the Boy Sprouts.
Yeah.
You never know.
On that mildly terrifying note, go check out Illuminati. It really is a classic for a reason. And hey, if you happen to see the word FNORD in the show notes, don't panic.
Or do. That might be what they want.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you in the shadows next time.